you to this session, and kindly come in and mute yourself so that we can get started shortly. It just takes 5 more minutes and just a few minutes. Thank you so much. Good morning, everybody. I really thank the people who are really on time at 10 o'clock, and I do appreciate very much your being on time. I'm requesting all of you to wait for 5 minutes before I open the session. Thank you so much.
Hello, ma'am.
Good morning, Ji. Just kindly, I request everybody to wait and just 2 more minutes and we will get started. May I request all of you to kindly mute yourself and shut the video so that we can save the bandwidth that can be used by all. Thank you so much.
One minute.
Let's start. Good morning, students, parents, teachers. Welcome to the counseling session. And thank you for taking time and joining us today to understand various opportunities in IT sector. And IT has been on the forefronts of 21st century education and skills transformation. If 21st century is going to bring a lot of change, and digital and IT and technology is at its root. So I welcome the students to understand the technology, how it can catalyze so many sectors and create many, many career opportunities. This is going to be forever green, and this sector will bring a lot of opportunities, also challenges. Opportunities in terms of as it is evolving, you have to create opportunities, come up with new technologies, ever replacing rapid cycling of technologies and fast pace of technologies means many people are working, learning, and improving things. That means lifelong learning commitment should be there by the people in the sector. It is lifelong learning is necessary for all people, more so in this sector. Continuous learning, continuous upgradation is a key. If you are the one who thinks that I have learned and I'm not going to learn anymore, that means you are shortchanging your career path, especially in IT. In IT, you should be prepared and braced for always learning, on top of your game, means forever learning, continuous learning. And you should love learning. This session is going to be led by Dr. Rajanikanth sir. and he's a professor and head of Department of Computer Science and treasurer of Triple E Computer Science. And he will, Computer Society, and he will take you through IT, information technology as a career path, because this will open many, many opportunities for you. I also want to suggest to Dr. Rajanikanth sir to not just pure play IT, in IT as an embedded form in different domains, be it agriculture, be it in automotive industry or textiles, is rampant. Kindly give a little bit of exposure of how IT will transform different domain sectors and how it will get embedded. Thank you so much, Dr. Rajanikanth sir, and please take it from here. Thank you so much. Welcome to the session.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for setting up the context for the session. And very good morning, one and all. And in fact, it's a pleasure for me to deliver a session for the budding graduates, IT graduates. All the time, I will be delivering my sessions to the graduates who have already chosen IT as a career. And in fact, this is a different one, and this is actually need of the hour. And I really, congratulate the management for taking up this session and making the students know about what exactly need to be learned to have IT as a career. And moving on, uh, the first, actually, who am I? When you people start listening to me, a question comes, why we need to listen to this guy. So myself, Dr. Rajanikanth, I done my graduation, post-graduation, as well as my PhD in computer science engineering. And I'm having my research specialization in cloud computing and big data as well. So I'm having more than 40 publications, as well as I have filed around 5 patents in various innovations. So I request the participants to put their questions in the chat window, and I will be taking every single question at the end of my session. I will try to put the session very fundamental, and so that everyone understands about the various domains, various new technologies, various areas where IT is emerging as well as existing now. So when we speak about career, career speaks working for some industry. And when we speak about an industry, so moving all the time over the history, we always need to have an understanding of industrial revolution. So this actually gives us an understanding what is exactly the need of the hour and what exactly we need to learn so that we can have a successful career. So if you look at this slide, it gives an understanding. There is Industrial Revolution 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, and 4.0. So the industrialization has started with the Industrial Revolution 1.0, which speaks about mechanization, which speaks about steam power, weaving, loom industry, etc. So where the mechanical machines have started coming in. And later on, the Industry Revolution 2.0 has come, where people have started concentrating much on mass production to reach the demands of the customers or the consumers. And the electrical energy for the mechanical machines was actually the key for the Industrial Revolution 2.0. So all the earlier mechanical machines were actually transformed into the electrical machines. Moving on, the Industry Revolution 3.0. has come, which speaks about automation of the electrical machines. So now we understand a mechanical machine is interconnected with an electrical, is converted into an electrical machine or controlled by an electrical engine. And later on, the same machines were automated. And automation is done by electronics, computers, and IT. So, and we could see that the Industrial Revolution 3.0 has led to the introducing of electronics, computers, and IT. And this Industrial Revolution 3.0 has come up with an Industrial Revolution 4.0, which says that all these mechanical machines, all these electrical machines, all these mechanical machines have become cyber physical machine. I'm using the word cyber physical machine. What exactly is this cyber physical machine is all about? In simple, when we speak about a computer, we always speak about our desktop, we think about our laptop, and these days even our mobile is also a computing machine. Now, all the mechanical, electrical, and electronic machines which were controlled by human beings or which are controlled by robots now are being controlled by a computer. So that's where we call them as cyber physical machine. We have a physical machine, but which is controlled by a cyber machine that is nothing but a computer. And now when you look at Industry Revolution 4.0, it clearly says what is going to play a key role. It is nothing but IoT, Internet of Things. And here my slide speaks about predictive maintenance, not just predictive. To speak in advance, I say it is nothing but cognitive. Cognitive is nothing but as a human being, what just we think, the computers also started thinking in the same way. Advanced data analytics and more hybrid and remote technologies to create smart production facilities. So this is exactly the need of the hour of the Industry Revolution 4.0. And to speak about now, we are in the Industry Revolution 4.0. So we are required to learn. We are required to get updated on these technologies. As rightly said by Madam, IT itself is not a domain. IT itself is not a specialized domain. Excuse me, someone please unmute. Excuse me. So the Industry Revolution 4.0 is what now going on. And as mentioned, IT itself is not a domain at all. IT is actually used to serve the other domains. The Industrial Revolution itself makes us clear that the computers and IT are used with electronic machines, as well as used with mechanical machines. And in fact, when we speak about, say, telecommunication, when we speak about agriculture, when we speak about automotive, when we speak about pharmacy, everywhere we have mechanical machines. But those mechanical machines require an electrical supply, are having an electronic circuits, but are being controlled by computers. Now, we are going to program the computers which are going to run these mechanical machines, which help in getting the mass production. So that's why please understand, when we are working for an IT industry, when we are programming or when we are developing a software, we are actually not developing something only for IT, but we are developing for the other industrial sectors. So that is where when choosing a career, either we are required to choose a career as IT as a major or IT as a minor. Even if you are an electronics engineer, having a knowledge of some IT is required. Electrical engineer, having a knowledge of IT is required. Mechanical engineer, having a knowledge of IT is required as well. A computer science engineer who can serve the domains by developing the softwares. So moving on. So exactly what is IT industry is? What is exactly IT? As the name acronym, it stands for information technology. So what exactly this information technology supports about? So the information technology, it's a dynamic and entrepreneur working environment that has had a revolutionary impact on the economy and society over the last few decades. Here the terms economy and society plays a vital role. We could see that the population is increasing. We could see that we are facing complex problems. We can experience now, we are experiencing a pandemic situation now. In all these cases, the information technology is playing a key role, which is helping us to make our lives sophisticated. And in fact, it is helping the economy of the governments, the economy of the world to get increased. And this is all being, possible with the help of the information technology. And in simple to say, when something a human being fails to do, when something a human being fails, feels complex to do, the information technology comes in and handles that particular situation and reduces the complexity. And what are the key benefits? By using information technology, we are able to have a faster and efficient processes in terms of industry, in terms of our livelihood. And information technology is helping us in the decision making. Say now, we could see the lockdown 1.0, lockdown 2.0, lockdown 3.0, and 4.0, etc. The government is able to take the decision with the help of the data, with the help of the summarization of the data that they could get. So this is how the information technology is going to help you in the decision making. It helps us in understanding how this particular COVID situation is going on, is able to predict, is able to have a prescriptive analysis on the data available with. As already I mentioned, the information technology helps us in solving and working with complex engineering problems. And if you just search on internet, the global challenges, there are 10 global challenges identified, and which we are required to solve, which we are required to have a solutions for the future mankind. Now we are experiencing the lack of drinking water. We are also going to experience the lack of food, electricity. We are also seeing a lot of unemployment across the world. We are also experiencing the problem of, you know, say, food processing. 40% of the food that which is, comes out of the agriculture sector is going waste. So we need to preserve the food. The food processing is one of the greatest challenge, and that 40% of the food can be delivered to the people who are really, facing hungry or hunger. So in all these places, the information technology is going to play a key role. So moving on to still setting the context to understand the position of IT industry in India. Forget about the world. If you take India, I have some census for the year 2020, which I have taken from NASCOM, which says that around 3 million individuals across a range of industries in various technologies and in various domain sectors like healthcare, finance, and education in India are working on with IT. So 3 million individuals. And as a career option, always IT is projected to be as well as the one of the fastest growing industry in India as well as the world. And no doubt to say, it is the IT sector who is recruiting the maximum passing out graduates across the country. The year 2020 projection says the IT industry will generate 191 billion rupees in revenue, as well as it is also going to hire around 205,000 employees for the year 2020. So you can see the number. around, if I just take engineering graduates, around 3 lakh graduates are passing out every year from various engineering colleges across the country. And IT industry is supposed to recruit around 2 lakh 5,000 employees for the year 2020. So even this number will go up. The present, COVID pandemic situation says the most of the industry has to work from home, having its employees working from home. Now, the industries are going to become virtual. People are going to be geographically scattered. Sitting at their home, they are going to work. And definitely, the need of IT is going to further increase for our livelihood, which definitely says the number of recruits are also going to get increased for the year, moving on from the year 2020. So now, moving on, preparation for an IT career. As brief to me, you're all going to have begin with your 11th and 12th standard. I could see you have some technology courses in your curriculum. I could see some programming, I could see some computer architecture, I could see some computer networks. This is really a good sign to have the prerequisite IT knowledge before actually you start learning technology. Where if you choose IT as a major career, or if you choose IT as a minor career, this is going to help you a lot when you choose technology as your career. And moving on, what are the various graduate programs you have to choose IT as a career? As you know that BTech and BE, the most popular professional, engineering programs available across the country, where you can choose CSE, Computer Science and Engineering, Information Technology. And from the past 2 years, AICT is speaking about specializations. Specializations in the sense, again, now CSE has become a broader, which speaks about various, technologies, various areas, where now even a engineering degree is coming with a specialization in information technology like AI, like data science, like machine learning, like IoT. So various specializations are coming in. So, but for a graduate to go for a specialization in computer science engineering, they are required to learn the fundamental IT knowledge before they actually enter into engineering. And definitely your curriculum, that is 11th and 12th curriculum, which is having an which is showing and giving an emphasis on IT fundamentals, is going to help you in choosing the right specialization and in shaping your career in your interested, area like AI, data science, or machine learning. And then individuals who are not aware of IT or computer science, but want to have come up uh, with want to make up IT as a career, can choose CSE or IT. And not just these engineering programs, we also see that we have basic uh, engineering program, sorry, basic sciences like BSc Computer Science. I wrote BBA, it is BCA, Bachelor of Computer Applications. Like this, various other university and college programs are available, which help you in preparing for an IT career once you complete your 12th standard. And not just these courses, as I already explained you, people can choose IT as a major career, IT as a minor career as well. Nowadays, in addition to the university or college programs, the certifications in a particular technology are helping the graduates to become employable. Like, hope you all know, Java is a programming language where we have a certification in Java. We have certification in Python. We have certification in SQL, PLSQL. We also have certification in cloud. We also have certification in, say Azure technologies. Hundreds of certification programs are there. And when you want to, by the end of the session, you will understand, you know uh, various sectors in IT itself, and what kind of certification to be chosen for that particular sector to be opted. So my idea over here is, to choose IT as a career, Uh, you can always choose a university or college program as well. Certification always adds value to you. Uh, Moving further, coming to the information technologies sectors. So to choose an IT career, the people work at various capacities in various sectors of IT, and here majorly constituting, people work for IT services, people work for IT software development, people work for IT infrastructure development and maintenance, people also work for IT hardware. These are the four major sectors. When we speak about services, so the to offer the information technology, we require various individuals who help us in providing the deployment of the right kind of software, supporting and using that particular software, and helping us in troubleshooting or repairing uh, the errors or the difficulties that which we are experiencing in using the IT services. So say now we are using Zoom now. So to use this Zoom, someone required to install it. Someone required to look for its license. Someone required to help us in connecting if we fail to connect. Maybe an internet issue has come. So we require people who work for the IT services. So this is one of the major sector. And as and how we go on increasing the uses of IT, the employment and the number of people we require for IT services also goes on increasing. And moving on, the next IT sector, which we call about software. So now as we are using Zoom, Zoom is a software and this has to be developed. And the Zoom software is developed by taking some requirements of the customers or by understanding the societal needs. There is a need of a conferencing software and the software is developed. So we require in information technology sector require people who can develop software, and the people who develop the software need to be very proficient in programming, need to have a knowledge of some programming languages. So now when I speak about developing softwares, now the softwares are of various kinds. A software which works in a standalone desktop or laptop computer, a software which works in a mobile, a software which works only through internet, a web-based application, a software which is geographically distributed, a distributed application. So based upon the requirement, the softwares can be developed. And we speak about single tenant and multi-tenant software. What does this mean? A single tenant software in the sense, if you have a Windows operating system in your laptop, you are the only person who is going to use that software. And that is exclusively for you. And no other one can use your Windows operating system in their PC. But speaking about a multi-tenancy software, it is a single copy of the software, but will be used by many people across. Say Gmail. Gmail is a single software, but every one of us are using. Zoom is a single software. Every one of us are using. We call such softwares as multi-tenant software. And right now, the industry is more dependent on multi-tenant softwares. And please understand over here, the multi-tenant softwares are cheaper than a single tenant software. Because being an exclusive owner, we need to purchase it. But multi-tenant software, we need to subscribe. And along with us, many people are going to use it and we share it. So that's where the software development is one of the major sector which pays huge in terms of salaries and where huge number of engineers are required. And not only here, an individual who can develop an application on his own can come up with his own startup, can work as a freelancer to an IT industry. Nowadays, startup is a buzzy word which we listen. Many people say, why I need to work for someone? I want to start up something on my own. So to start up something on your own, it means, as I already mentioned in my earlier side, we're all working in the cyber physical world. Every industry is completely dependent on softwares. So if you are capable of developing an application, you can start something on your own. So instead of, say, working for someone. And moving on further, the third sector which has come up and which is now the backbone of the whole IT is the information technology infrastructure sector. So what is this all infrastructure sector speaks about? Now, I just spoke about software becoming virtual, having multi-tenant softwares. Now even the IT infrastructure has become virtual. Say now, I'm going to clarify about the cloud computing in the coming slides, but the virtual infrastructure has come up with the invent of the cloud computing, with the invent of internet, with the invent of telecommunications. Now, the information technology, the underlying hardware, the underlying complex infrastructure which we require has completely moved on to internet, and we call it as internet computing. Say now, you are experiencing a complex engineering problem, and to work with that problem, you require a supercomputer. And nowadays, it is not required to procure a supercomputer, but just subscribing to a cloud computing service provider, you can get the supercomputing power and you can work on your complex engineering problem. So this says what exactly you require to work with. You require a laptop or a desktop with an internet connectivity. So this gives an understanding the computing being physical. We could see in our computer labs, a lot of computers having a server, having an engineer to support. So all this has gone away. And now a desktop or a laptop with an internet connectivity will help you in connecting to the complex, a huge IT infrastructure which helps us in working with the complex engineering problems. So now when I say this, an internet and a cloud computing service provider, what all these people do? These people actually maintain the IT infrastructure and which can be subscribed by us. Here I'm using the word subscription. To give you all an analogy, we all purchase a mobile phone and we take a connection either from Airtel, Vodafone, Idea or Jio, etc. And we never worry about how Jio or Airtel is providing the signal for us. And that required infrastructure is maintained by them. The same way here, the cloud service provider does, and the infrastructural maintenance, procurement, establishment requires huge number of users, huge number of engineers. And this is one of the sector where a lot of engineers are required. And moving on further, the IT hardware. So please do understand here, the infrastructure comprises of IT hardware itself. The infrastructure comprises of servers, the mobile devices, network systems, computers, desktops, laptops, thin clients, routers, switches, hubs, etc. So we also require a lot of engineers who work with these basic devices, which comprises of the hardware and which all are put together will form an infrastructure. So a lot of engineers are required over here as well. So now, to summarize, moving further, these are the various IT sectors you may land in after reviewing your skill set. So when we speak about IT service engineer, there is some kind of skills they require. When we speak about a software development engineer, they require some special skills, infrastructure something, hardware something, etc. So based on that, you will be landing up in any of the sector of the information technology. So moving further, so the preparation for an IT career, how do we do that? So already I briefed, we have university and college programs. I brief, we have certification programs. Also, I forget to say that these days a lot of MOOCs are available, which are offered by various universities online at free of cost, like Coursera, edX, Udemy, etc. As well in India, we have Swayam as well, where You can choose a technology of your choice and even learn. Now, to make it clear further, so preparing for an IT career, as I already said. So if you want to be a part of the network systems, so it says that you want to be a part of either infrastructure or you want to be a part of, say, either hardware. So what exactly you are required to learn? So this field says you should have the knowledge of designing, analyzing, developing, and implementing the network systems. So please note this point. Nowadays, as internet has become the basic need in every household, the computers or the laptops or the mobile devices available across the world, in which 95% of them are interconnected. And this interconnection is possible with the networks. So now, when a new computer comes in, when a new laptop comes in, when a new desktop comes in, you should be there in a position to add it to the existing network. You should be there in a position to develop a new network. You should be there in a position to understand the existing network, how the bandwidth is exactly being used, what kind of topology to be used. So this is where, the skills which we require to begin with, a network systems as a career in IT. The next speaks about information support and services. As I said, IT services sector. IT services in the sense, in simple to say, you purchase a Dell computer and you are experiencing some trouble and you always call to a call center, and engineer sitting in the call center will help you in guiding, in troubleshooting your computer. So not just a Dell laptop, maybe you purchased a washing machine, maybe you purchased a TV, maybe you purchased something, a bank account. So there are some people in the background who help you in, supporting, who help you in, solving the problem that which you are experiencing. And this is all they can do because, again, they are an IT engineers. And they are the engineers who have the basic knowledge, or who have the knowledge of, troubleshooting the softwares, troubleshooting the hardware, troubleshooting the infrastructure, etc. And this is what kind of the knowledge or the skill set required to work as an information support and services. Here, along with the IT skill set knowledge, the individuals also require very, effective communication skills, because these are the people who are going to communicate with the client, who are going to communicate with the customer, and communication plays a key role over here. And moving further, the next, career in IT, which speaks about programming and software development, and where most people look to choose, look to opt. And again, I'm saying which pays a huge salaries. So what is exactly required? Here, these individuals require the knowledge of SDLC, which speaks about software development life cycle, knowing the requirements of the software, and then analyzing the requirements and putting them in a particular order, and considering them for the development of the software by using some programming language, and by using some database management system, and by using some deployment environment. So this is what exactly the skill set required for an individual to, become a software development engineer. So moving on, here, knowing a programming language is very much important. So here, when I speak about programming language, we come across C, C++, Java, C#, Python, etc. And having a knowledge of one programming language is sufficient. And within a week or a couple of weeks, we can always shift from one programming language to the other. But when we look at the programming languages, also there are various types of the languages, which speaks about procedural, which speaks about declarative, which speaks about object-oriented programming. And nowadays, the industry is completely dependent on, is on working on using the object-oriented programming. So knowing some object-oriented programming language like C++, Java, or a Python is, sufficient enough to start coding, to start developing the logic for the problem or for the case study, or for the software which actually you are thinking to develop. So this is what exactly the skill set required for an individual to start his career in terms of software development. And moving further, web and digital communications. So here I am segregating. In my earlier slide, I said software development as one sector. In the software development also, I mentioned single tenant, multi-tenant. So which speaks about a software which is web-based, a software which is not web-based, which is a standalone software. And now here, the final career option which speaks about web and digital communications. So where developing web-based applications, where application will not reside in your laptop, but will be residing at some hosting place, maybe a web hosting or maybe cloud hosting place, and from where you access your application. So what is the basic difference between both of this again? So installing a software on your desktop. So to work with the application, always you require that machine. Either you require to move to that particular machine and to open the application and you have to work with it, or you have to install that particular application in the system where you are working on. But coming to a web application, we do not require any kind of installations. Just open the browser, type the URL, we are able to get the application. And this indicates web applications are anywhere applications, anywhere, anytime. And in short, people speak them as ubiquitous applications. So wherever you are across the world, just typing an URL, you are able to access it, like your Gmail, like your Facebook. So this is the way, place where, if you want to become an engineer who develops a web applications, then you require a skill set where you are required to know the functionality and the technologies required to develop multimedia projects, as well as you also required to know various scripting languages with which you are going to develop these web applications. So this slide gives you the fundamental understanding of, choosing an IT career. So if you want to opt a network system, then what to be required? You want to become a service engineer, what required? If you want to a software engineer, not web-based, what required? If you want to be an web-based software engineer, what exactly is required? So moving further, so what are the emerging careers in the IT sector? Sorry. So my earlier slide speaks about the broad classification, but as you could see that the IT industry evolves, it emerges. Always it comes up with the newer technologies. And these newer technologies will always give an very sophisticated and efficient solutions to the industry, and which helps the industry in getting profits, which helps the industries become scalable, and which helps us in producing employment. So moving on, the emerging careers in the IT sector, I always abbreviate a term SMAC. And please do remember, these days, if someone want to enter into the IT sector, they should have some specialization. They should have an expertization. They should have a specialization in one among them. As SMAC stands for SMAAC. So S stands for social media, M stands for mobility, A stands for analytics, and another A stands for AI, and another C stands for cloud computing. So these are the various technologies which are actually playing a very vital role. And in fact, to see, social media uses mobility, uses analytics, uses AI, as well as uses cloud computing. And now the cloud computing is the backbone for all the complex software applications with which we are working. And when you're working with the software complex applications, we always want to know the analytics. We always want to know the customer transactions. We always want to know the profit of the day. We also want to know where exactly we are lagging. So where we require our analytics. Most of us actually go for shopping malls. And they always ask us for our phone number. They always ask us for our data. And the data is going to help them in understanding our shopping needs, is going to help them in understanding what kind of products are you looking for. This always helps them, in getting the products, in keeping the products, what exactly a customer requires. I'll give another simple example. If you people get a chance to move across the country, say, if you got a chance to go for a Reliance Mart, if you go for a Reliance Mart in Hyderabad, and if you go for the same Reliance Mart somewhere in Delhi, and if you go for a Reliance Mart same somewhere in Ahmedabad, the way they put the household products, it differs, because the products that which we consume in Hyderabad is different to Ahmedabad, is different to Delhi. And they always do this. This is called as a mall floor management. And this is always done based upon the analytics. And not only that, I'll give another simple example for you. 2 years back, Jio has come with a plan which made all the other telecommunication industries get into the trouble. And then immediately, the rival companies also are required to come up with a plan. So coming up with the plan doesn't mean that simply they say, when Jio said 330 unlimited calls, they can't say 320. They are required to do some analytics behind. The number of customers available to them, the average number of the calls they do, and what is the best price they can give, which is not going to put the company into the losses, and where they are going to fix a plan. So all this is possible with the kind of analytics. So that's where the data science, the analytic industry is actually going to play a key role in the industry sector for helping them in gaining huge profits, as well as in overcoming the competition with their rivalries. And now moving on, we could see the mobility. Nowadays, if you take any product, if you take any shop, if you take any industry, they also have a mobile application, because they understood their sales are going to get affected if they do not move on to the mobile, because mobile is a gadget we as an individual is carrying anytime with us. And when you want to purchase something, when you want to analyze something, when you want to review something, and people are not moving towards a laptop or a desktop, but actually are doing in the mobile. So that's where every industry started developing its own mobile application and syncing the mobile application to the desktop application. So where mobility is one of the major sector where a lot of engineers are required. And moving on further, it's a social media. As we know, it's marketing. When we are existing in the industry, the people are required to speak about us. People are required to review us. So this all comes with the social media. And now we can see that sitting at our home, we are able to know the difficulties with the pandemic, COVID across the world. This is all possible only with the social media. And a lot of social media applications are there, and which uses huge and huge and huge amounts of data. And here, when I said various applications are coming up, and all these applications are doing transactions, and they are generating the data. And please do remember, for any industry, data is an important asset. So they make money out of the data. But if you just look at the analysis says, whatever the data that is generated, say from 1970 to the year 2000, 30 years of data, the amount of data is getting generated only on a single day now in the year 2020. And this is all we call it as a big data problem. And all this huge amount of data to store requires huge amount of storage space. To work with that huge amount of data, we require complex, computing machines. And for this, the social media, the industries are always dependent on cloud technology, who provides the infrastructure required for storing the data, for working with the data. And moving further, nowadays, AI is playing a very key role. What is this artificial intelligence is all about? The world is speaking about artificial intelligence, and people are saying it is going to replace the man. Please do understand, as a human being, we always, you know, empowered with the cognitive skills. We have the capability to think. We have the capability to relearn what already we learned. Now, providing this relearning capability to the computing machines and making the computing machines to take a decision and behave, get the cognitive skill set, we impart artificial intelligence in them. Say now a simple example to speak about, I said cyber physical machine is nothing but a mechanical machine which is manufacturing some products. If it is embedded with an AI engine, the AI engine will look at the quality of the product getting developed. If it finds the manufacturing quality is not so good, it takes a decision either to stop. It takes a decision to improve the quality, whether it is possible or not, which actually a human being can do. And to say in simple, artificial intelligence will reduce, human intervention with the machine. This is what to be always remembered. Human intervention is always reduced by AI. And now people say that with the invent of AI, the need of IT engineers or the employment across the world will, uh, go down. But please do remember, AI will increase the employability. Increasing the employability in the sense, earlier, working with an IT sector means as a human being, we are required to intervene with the machine. But now that intervention is not required. Now we are required to work with other skill sets. Like now automation is going to come up. We are required to know the automation knowledge, RPA, robotic process automation, which we speak about. The blockchain has come in, cybersecurity has come in. You are required to become, an analytic engineer as well. So moving further, the another emerging careers is automation. So this is another buzzword. People are listening these days. Even automation is going to cut down the employability. Please do understand, again, it is not. And it is going to help us in getting with new employment opportunities. The another technology which is coming up is the blockchain technology. Please remember, the blockchain technology is again going to change the world. Every time we speak about the corruption, delay in the process across, the government sectors, private sectors, everything will get resolved only with the blockchain technology, which is nothing but a digital distributed ledger. And this blockchain technology always helps us in protecting the change of the digital assets. So no one can change the data. So this is what, the restriction that can be done by the blockchain, because, blockchain uses the cryptographic hashing. So this is one of the key emerging area. And moving further, the cyber security. As we know, we are, the complete life is actually surrounded by the gadgets. Our bank is into our mobile. Our data is into mobile. And our machines knows much about us than us. Then if some other third person knows about you by getting into your gadget, it is nothing but a threat to your privacy. So definitely this says that huge number of cyber security experts are required across the world. So this is the area where it helps us in restricting the third party access to our personal data, to our personal gadgets. So these are the various emerging careers in the IT sector. So to have your career in IT down the line, you are just going to come up with your 11th and 12th. So you are going to get into IT sector down the line in 6 years. So you have to pay a lot of attention towards these technologies like social media, mobility, analytics, AI, cloud, automation, blockchain, cybersecurity, as well virtual reality also. So moving further, the skills required. So may you want to enter into any of the earlier technologies, either into social media or mobility and analytics, you always need to learn some technologies. So speaking about these technologies, so for the application development skills, what you require to know? You require to know a database, you require to know a language, you require to know a technology, and the basic technology speaks about either knowing Python, Java, C++, SAP, Oracle, or C Sharp.NET, and many more are there. And now, if you want to become an web development engineer, you are required to learn various scripting languages like Ajax, ASP, which we speak about active scripting pages, XAMPP, which speaks about Apache, MySQL, and PHP, Joomla, WordPress, and many more in place. So knowing one of these technologies will always help you in getting the web development skills where you can develop a web development software. And security skills, you want to become a cyber security expert or network security expert or an information security expert, you should always know about the firewall administration, putting the checkpoints. You always need to learn about the information system security certification, and you also need to know about Cisco network administration and many more. Such skills are available, and learning one of them will always help you in becoming a cyber security expert and getting into that particular career. And moving on further, the networking skills, as I said, the computing is distributed across, and knowing some networking skills like Linux, Unix administration, or VoIP, we call it as voice over internet protocol. Now, I'm able to communicate by using, Zoom now, uh, Geo now. So these are, possible only with VoIP. We call it as a voice over internet protocol. We are able to speak through internet. We speak through, TCP/IP protocol. Cisco network administration is another key skill which also going to help you in getting into the networking career or as well a security career. So these are, in short, the granular or atomic technologies or the languages or the skills required to get into a particular sector. So moving further, here I want to give a more emphasis on Python. What all Python about? Earlier, a decade back, people used to speak about C. Later, people started speaking about Java and C Sharp. And last decade is totally the time of Java and C Sharp.NET. But now the industry has completely switched using Python. And please do remember, Python entered the industry as a simple scripting language. And it is one of the easiest programming language, which a kids like you or the kids who are at the high school can also learn and do programming as well. Veterans, there are people who are working with IT industry down the line 20-30 years because of the advancements in the technologies, they can't do programming, but Python helps them in doing the programming. And do remember, Python is, these are key features of the Python, which is portable, which is a free and open source, which can be interpreted, which is an object-oriented, easy. It is also supports GUI programming, a graphical user interface scheme, and it is having a large library. And do remember, Python supports AI, Python supports cloud, Python supports data science, Python supports deep learning, Python supports machine learning. Python is everywhere. And it is a top preferred language across the industry now. So now, as 11th and 12th standard students, I strongly recommend you to start working on Python. May you are not interested to get into IT career, but now I say the complete machine sector, a mechanical engineer, Python is very much required. An electronics engineer, Python is very much required. The complete robotics runs on Python. So I want every one of you to learn Python. And learning Python is so simple, but you have to get equipped with the library. Say now you want to become a data science engineer. You have to learn much about the use of Python packages like NumPy, Pandas, etc. So there are specific packages, specific free libraries available with Python for the specific use of the Python. So that is where, so based upon your choice, after learning Python, you have to start working with those packages, which is really going to help you become employable and play a key role in a place or in an industry where you actually work. So this is where Python is going to help all of you about. And moving further, the cloud technology. As I already mentioned, now the cloud technology is the backbone of the complete information technology of the world. The processing power, the storage space, or the networking of the computers, everything you required is actually provided by the cloud computing vendors. The most popular vendors are like AWS, we call them as Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud. Many such vendors are available. These are few popular which I am mentioning about here. And when you want to develop some software application, you want to become a freelancer, you want to start up something, or you want to develop an application on your own, you want, as a 12th engineer, you learned Python, and you want to develop a product, you want to develop an application, and always you worry about the technologies you require, the deployment environment to be set up, and everything you could get from these particular vendors. Just like the way how you get a SIM card for your mobile. So whatever the technology you want, you are able to get it from the cloud technology. So start working on. And as a beginners, if you just get into AWS, you always will see AWS provides around $200 of computing services free for you to work with. Similar way Azure does, similar way Google does. And where you can develop a simple IoT applications, where you can develop a simple applications of your choice. Nothing to worry, not required to worry about downloading a software, installing a software, deploying a software on your machine. What all you require is an internet connectivity, subscribing to a cloud service, and start working with on. And so the cloud technology is always going to help you people uh, in working on. So moving further, this is another key area which is going to play a key role. And now to say the COVID situation, the pandemic situation, making people, sit at their homes. So the virtual reality plays a key role. And in virtual reality, we have augmented reality, we have mixed reality as well. What does this virtual reality says? We could experience the real world physical environment in a digital environment. So which we call it as a virtual reality. Nowadays, when you want to purchase something, you want to look at some place without even going there, you can always experience, people are experiencing, if the day, you want to take admission in some university in US, you want to know, you want to feel the campus of the university through virtual reality. You could do, right? Without visiting Taj Mahal, you can, feel the visit of Taj Mahal just by the virtual reality, where, a lot of engineers are required, because all popular destinations, all popular products are actually entering into the virtual reality world. And there is another one which has come up, we call it as augmented reality. Augmented reality is something, just by using your mobile or by using your gadget, just by scanning that particular image, we can learn in detail about that particular object, in depth of that particular object, and which we call it as augmented reality. So maybe you might have learned in your schooling, I saw somewhere, just placing a mobile on a heart, it shows the internal parts of the heart. Placing it some water, it shows the various components of a water in terms of chemistry. So where augmented reality has come in, and virtual reality and augmented reality together, we call it as merged reality or the mixed reality, which is another environment which is already coming up. So this is also a place where people can work on. And not just this, there are many other domains. People also speaks about UI design, user experience engineering. So we have a lot of applications, but we choose the one which we feel comfortable to use. So which says an application is good in engineering, having an AI engine, but unless it is easy to use, we never use it. So we require a lot of engineers who work in bringing a very effective user interface. So where again, a lot of IT engineers are required. So this makes you an understanding the IT requires, engineers in various sectors, and which are really coming up year on year, as and how the advancements are happening in the technologies. And moving further, the top employees in IT careers. Here, I am specific about the industries in India. So basically, here, sorry, uh, the industries are, Google is one of the, uh, huge recruiter. Amazon is one, Microsoft is one, Accenture is one, Infosys is one, Deloitte is one. Again, Wipro is one, Capgemini, Facebook. Lot many, IT industries are there who are actually, recruiting in huge number. As my earlier slide says, in the year 2020, 205,000 engineers are, supposed to be recruited by various IT companies, and these are the numbers given by, NASCOM. So this is all from my side. Hope I try to put it very fundamental, and now I am open for questions, and I want to solve much.
Thank you, Professor Rajanikanth
Yeah.
Garu. It was wonderful to listening to you. And Madam has expressed her sincere thanks to you for having accepted our invitation and came online and shared your experience, a lot of experience you have. And at the same time, you went deep into the subject matter and the benefits of pursuing IT as a career or college pathways. So thank you so much, sir. We are so overwhelmed with your presentation. And now we are open to questions. Let me start myself, sir. People say that when BTech information technology is done, and when compared to all other engineering subjects, they are all looked down upon. There is, I think, it is my feeling, and what I feel from our friends, sons and daughters when they are reading. IT means what IT? Why are you doing IT? Something like that. Sir, such type of misapprehension, how to overcome that particular aspect, sir? Please, when people discourage, when people talk about such negative things, kindly throw light on that, sir. Please.
It's a very good question, sir. I always say, it's not a program which is going to make you employable. It is the skill set which is going to make you people employable. And having a BTech IT, having a BTech CSC certificate itself is not going to make you employable. As I briefed in my session, having expertization in one of the areas, emerging areas or the existing areas, is always going to make you employable. And having working with an engineering college, having experiencing the industry recruiters, I always say the industries are experiencing lot of tough time in finding an IT engineer with the right skills who can readily work with the industry. So this says there are a lot of employment opportunities available, and only the thing is the individual, the graduate should be ready with the right skill set. And as a school, as a college, we always try to, provide the best, and it always lies at the end with the graduate. So that's where, always it's not either IT or EC or CSC or mechanical. In every sector, there are opportunities available. And I already briefed in the beginning, IT works for the other domain, not for itself. Yeah. Hope I answer your question, sir.
Yes, yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. And in post-COVID-19 era of the entire world is affected by this pandemic. And what is going to be the future of information technology, sir? In the present context, how do you foresee the what is called the future of IT sector as such, sir? Please.
I say, sir, the future of our life dependence on IT increases a lot post-COVID. As we could see now, if not COVID, we would have done it as a physical session.
Exactly.
The COVID made us, to continue. We are not stopping our work.
Yes.
We are, habituated to do our works, but to do that, technology intervention is always required. And you could see in this COVID situation, it is only an IT solution, which is that Setu app, which has come up fast in
Yes, sir.
helping us, in preventing, in, getting affected with Corona. Where again, it is IT which has come up with a solution before the medical science has come up.
Yes.
So that's where, if this situation continues, we are required to restrict to home, and where the technology dependence is going to increase like anything. Our banking, our education, even our medical, everything is going to be on technology, which is internet based. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
Any other questions from our students or from staff or our principals? Please put your questions to sir, and he will be ready to answer, please. Any more questions?
So is your school having a Atal Tinkering Lab, sir?
No, sir. We have not started it so far, sir. We will plan, sir, in future.
Okay. I'm a mentor for few schools.
Oh, that's great, sir. That's great. That's great. We will definitely approach you, sir, for that. Yeah. I think there are no questions. And I also request our students and staff, if at all you are having questions, please post us to our mail. We will definitely send it to our sir, and then we will get the reply and we will send it back to you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful session. And it is an enlightening one. And you have shed light on each and every aspect of information technology. I hope and wish that our children will definitely pursue information technology in due course of time. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for participation.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you, HOCs, our teachers and children. You have participated. I think you have got highly motivated. And feel free to send your feedback to us. Thank you very much. Sir, please, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thanks for inviting me. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.